My name is Timbani Threadgill, and this is TimboTalk. I hope that you guys noticed the different music on the intro. That is by design. This is the first TimboTalk short. So this episode will be a little bit shorter in nature, somewhere between about 5 and 7 minutes typically. And the, typical pattern of episodes being released will be a longer episode, 20-ish minutes, followed by a short. And we'll kind of switch off. There'll also be times where I may drop a short, randomly in the middle of a week, kind of a bonus episode. But that's kind of the format that you could expect to see. I'd also like to take a minute and thank everybody who took time out of their day to tune into the first episode. I was overwhelmed by the positive feedback that I received, most appreciative of the support. I hope that while you listened, you gave us a like, a subscribe, and that you would share the episode with anyone that you think will find it beneficial. The topic that we're covering for today's short, I felt is a really, really good kind of follow-up to the episode that we did for the debut episode where we talked about the way that we perceive our problems. Shorts won't necessarily relate to the longer episodes, but in this case, it does. And this is something that I run into all of the time. And I feel like talking about this topic and increasing our awareness of it allows opportunities to, I think, significantly change the way that some of us perceive our days and kind of work through our days. You ever catch yourself saying, today's just not my day? Or, man, today really sucks. Or, man, could it just be tomorrow already? This happens to the best of us. It's part of the human experience. We all have bad days sometimes. And I'm not trying to be dismissive of that, okay? That's completely understandable, and it does happen to all of us. However, I do know a lot of people who will say those exact same phrases, and I look down at my watch, and it's like 9:48 in the morning. And to me, that's completely preposterous. We have to talk about the way that we frame our day. One bad moment does not have to ruin the rest of your day. But this is something that we can work on. Some of us struggle with all or nothing thinking, okay? That is to say that once something goes wrong, an argument in the morning, traffic making us late, missing a work deadline, people will often write off the whole day and just be like, oh, my day's ruined. Oh, it's just a horrible day. And that's just nonsense. I used to run into this a lot when I was a high school teacher. I remember talking to one of my students, and he came into my class. It was like second hour. It was like, 9:24 in the morning, whatever it was. And he was all bummed out. Oh, man, Mr. T, man, this is a bad day, Mr. T. I don't even know what to tell you. And I was like, man, shake that off, man. It's not even 10 a.m. yet. How can it be a bad day? It's not even 10 a.m. You've been up for like 3 hours. And my kids started laughing. But I was dead serious. I'm like, nah, listen to me. You're saying it's a bad day. You've literally been up for like 2 or 3 hours, man. You got the whole day ahead of you. If you get the opportunity to interview for a job and get it today, somebody just comes up to you and says, hey, my job is hiring, dude, you should come after school and get a job. Or if you find out that the paper you thought you bombed, you actually got a B+ on. Or if that little shorty that you got a little crush on, if you get her phone number in 5th hour and you make a date for Saturday, would any of those things impact the way that you view your day? And my student was like, well, I mean, when you put it like that, then yeah. Okay, so do not dismiss the potential of something good happening just because something bad happened already. Not at 10 in the morning, okay? So we got to get away from this all or nothing thinking. This kind of mindset narrows our perspective, and it really sets us up for more negativity. I was facilitating a group, a mental health group on guided meditation, here or there. But I remember I asked one of the participants, and he had such a poignant quote. I said, how are you feeling today? And he said, if you look out in the world and you see beauty, then things are beautiful. But if you look out at the world and you only see ugly, then the world is very ugly. The same thing can be said about our days. If we're focused, again, on the negative, on this negative stuff happening, if we're in a negative mindset, then we are more likely to pick up on negative things that are happening around us, negative things that are happening throughout our day. But the other side of that coin is if we are looking for the positive, if we are recognizing the positive things that are going on, if we remain optimistic, then we are more likely to pick up on and notice the positive things that are happening in our day instead. So As we get away from the all or nothing thinking, I really want to help us reframe the way that we look at our days. I'd really encourage folks to look at breaking their days down into chunks. And this can look different for each and every one of us. It could depend on what we're focusing on. It could depend on what's happening in our world. But I really like to look at morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Some people go hour by hour, and that's successful for them. Some people go task by task, and that's successful for them as well. The only thing that I'm trying to stress and emphasize is don't just look at the day as one giant day. One bad thing happens. Now it's been a bad day because this one thing that happened at 10 a.m. Okay, now, conversely, if you broke your day down into chunks and you call it 4 chunks, morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Can something happen before 10 a.m. that is not so great? Sure. And let's acknowledge that and say, hey, it was a bad morning. That's okay. We still have afternoon, evening, and night. There's so many more good things that could happen. And if you have a good afternoon, a good evening, a good late night, and you compare that to the 1 unit of bad morning, that's still 3-1 in a good day's favor. And that's the way that we should look at that. But some of us will only focus on the bad thing that happened in the morning. Get into a fight with our partner, or argue with our kid, or being stuck in traffic and being late to an important meeting and looking like an ass in front of your boss. That's not the end of the day. It's just a bad thing that happened. It's important that we remain flexible. If your morning was rough, it was rough. That's not the end of the day. But it doesn't mean that the day is completely shot. There's also small things that we can do that'll kind of help us regulate. I personally like to acknowledge things. If it's been a rough morning, I'll be like, oh, shit. That's not the start that we were looking for. But then I move on. I don't just count the day as a loss, as a bad day. I mean, it is what it is. The morning's done. It was a bad morning, and we're moving on. Some small things that we can do that'll kind of help us as well is little recovery moments. Acknowledge, like I said, what happened. Take a quick couple of deep breaths. Get up from your desk and go for a walk. Take a minute and have yourself a snack. Do something that you can do to break up and leave that negative interaction with somebody, thing that happened, whatever it is in the past, and acknowledge, okay, that's in the past and we're moving forward. You don't need a new day. You just need a new moment. Okay? We also have to focus on, again, remaining optimistic, accepting that there is the possibility of something good happen. And sometimes just that hope in itself is all that we need to keep it pushing. One thing can throw us off, sure, but one thing can also bring you right back to a positive space. So if it's been a rough morning or you're in the middle of a rough patch today, don't write off the whole day. There's still time for laughter. There's still time for peace. There's still time for something beautiful to happen today. You've got more control than you think, but it starts with the way that you think and perceive things. Appreciate your time as always. This is TimboTalk.